there's something I'm thinking this must have some link to Hegel, but I just don't know Hegel well enough. But this idea that, and I mean, because when I think of that Hegel, his idea, it goes back to that guy Joachim de Fiori, and that's where we get this idea of like these 4 eras of time. And then, and eventually everybody will be their own priest at the end of it or something like that. Or I forget. But, that in different ways of thinking use this differently because this is actually a Platonic, if I remember right, idea, or Pythagoras, Platonic idea, and comes out of Neoplatonic, kind of the various types of Gnostic movements that have happened. And that this was something that James Lindsay and Jay Dyer had this great discussion over, and went through it like philosopher by philosopher by philosopher, and really even the citations of how this person would cite this person would cite this person would cite this, but they would all use different kinds of terminology for this idea of this kind of will of the universe. And so eventually what this does, it justifies whatever you want a social movement to be, or a series of events to be, because it is the will of the universe. And so it is the great will, the force, the force comes into balance, and I mean, I even joke about the scales come into balance, but I mostly kind of think of it really as, the scales of sin. Sin, its rewards, and pride, human pride in our reward for such. And so something I was thinking about with that was how, the present, right now you're having in blue enclaves, these saying Genocide Joe has got to go, and all these kind of protests. And these people are just scrambling with the cops. These are cops in New York, in a blue enclave. Like, these guys, these are probably not people who have something against you. There's still cops in New York. Are you kidding me? And they gotta, we gotta fuck with them. We gotta wrestle. We gotta wrestle with them. Scramble. And so they're shouting and all this stuff, and what it's, and so the left is positing this as, see, you've done all these things to the Islam, and it's like a tube of toothpaste. The scales have come into balance, and now you're covered in toothpaste. How do you feel about that? And now, you've pressed down to Islam, and now it's rising up with the Islam anger, and now you're going to pay, And it's just, after a certain while, you're just like, oh, this is just so cringe. This is so cringe. Just, no, eventually everyone's going to just ignore them like they did before. The reason why is because the leaders of Hamas were living high on the hog. These weren't outdoor prisons. They were seaside cities. What are these missiles hitting? Buildings. Big buildings. It was like tightly built buildings, like lots and lots of small cities. Like, stop it. Please stop it. And then it was all being run by Hamas, like a company. And nobody wants to deal with that. And that maybe it wasn't awesome being under the boot of Hamas. But no, it doesn't matter. And you see, now that's the thing, is like, it doesn't cry, wail, all that. It doesn't matter now. You've chosen the worst time for this. when everybody has their own fucking problems, and their own fucking problems are super duper more important than Palestine. Double, quintuple, a bubble. More important. Oh, wow. And so it's just one of these things I'm like, yeah, this isn't like the end of history. No. I'm just seeing it rhyme. I've seen something like this before. Like the 70s. But anyway, okay. Talk to you guys later. Bye.